In the know for the final day of September. It is Monday the 30th, the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Now, a lot to unpack in the weather department. Meteorologist Rhythm Reet alongside myself, Matt Hamel. Now, Rhythm, in parts of Western Canada, a bit of a cool down and maybe even some snowflakes in the mix.
You know it, Matt. And before we jump into that, I just want to give everyone a warning. This might be a jump scare for some of you, but we want to give you a reality check that as we step into October, yes, snow is on the docket. Taking a look at some of those normal amount of snowfall for October. Of course, the heaviest is going to be across the west, places like Calgary, Edmonton, but I don't want people to forget that even in Ottawa, sure, it might not be very heavy accumulating rain, but those first snowflakes do eventually fall.
Okay, Rhythm, so let's now talk a bit more about what's happening in Western Canada, but let's reflect on some October snowfall scenes that, hey, have materialized in the past, right? And as you highlighted, Whitehorse, no stranger to October snowfall. This was just last year on the 6th. Didn't take long for the month to get going before you had to get that brush out, and oh goodness, all the rigmarole of winter that we get well too acquainted with each year. In Fort McMurray, I lived there for a little while, and yes, that snowfall sometimes creeped into the forecast a little sooner than I was totally comfortable with, to be fully honest with you. But Rhythm, let's talk about what we're seeing in the short term here, the weather pattern that's certainly dipped temperatures, and yeah, a little bit of snowflakes could be on the way.
And you know what, Matt? We just saw a video of Fort McMurray and Whitehorse. Well, both of them are going to be on the docket for some flurries. What we are seeing is this low pressure system that is pushing across the region. This is going to reinforce more of that northwesterly flow across the prairies. And what happens is, when you can see with the gray, that low pressure kind of just stalls over Hudson's Bay. So that's why we're going to be looking at those cooler temperatures as well as the snow. Now, I know we've talked so much about Regina. Yesterday, they got up to 32.6 degrees, and today they're forecasted at 12, a 20-degree drop in 24 hours. Just gives you an idea of exactly how strong that cold front is going to be. Now, Matt, that's not the only thing that's going to be bringing some of that snow. We have to talk about that atmospheric river. That's going to be fueling a lot of the moisture that is going to lead to some of that snow across areas of the Rockies. Now, this is not a very strong atmospheric river by any means, but it is still going to be quite powerful in terms of the amount of moisture that we get, as well as combining with those cooler temperatures to bring that snow. Now, I know, Matt, you might be you take a look up towards the northern regions, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. That is all of the moisture that is going to be associated coming from the north, and then that low pulling that cold air to bring that snow to the ground. But when we take a look over into British Columbia as well as Alberta, we do see some of those snowflakes, but more of that accumulating snow is going to be anywhere just up from 1,800 meters. And Matt, I have to ask you a very important question. Are you ready for the snow?
You know what, Rhythm? No, I am not. I'm more so. I have my sights set on the autumn season, and then we can maybe get to that a little further down the road. Now, Rhythm, we've been talking about snowfall and maybe the little taste of early those winter scenes that we're not so eager to see. But what about the eastern part of the country? I know that things maybe we've certainly seen some tropical activity. What does the month of October look to be bringing in terms of activity in the Atlantic?
When we talk about tropical development in October, what we see is a shift towards the west. So more of those tropical development is going to happen through the Gulf of Mexico and trail across the eastern seaboard. And then you have two tracks that we really watch. One is going to be northwest of the Caribbean, following Florida and right up the eastern seaboard. And the second into the Maritimes forms just east of the eastern seaboard.
Okay, Rhythm, good to know. Our October outlook, the forecast for the month to come, that debuts tomorrow right here on the Weather Network.